Welcome back everyone, it's me, Mr. 4K Upscaler. So I came across this video not too long ago. As a matter of fact, I came across this video this morning. It's called Xbox Lost the Console War. Now it's redefining gaming. This is from Wall Street Journal Economics. And I find this video to be very interesting and also very accurate. This is exactly what I have been preaching. And it's good to see that now it's coming to fruition. You know, I've been telling people about this, I've been preaching about this, and I think finally people are starting to realize what I've been preaching. Because I use this thing called logic, right? I use logical thinking, and I look at the logical trajectory as to where this might go. It doesn't mean that I'm always 100%, right, but it's more plausible when you use logical trajectory to see in which direction these companies, these big giant corporations like Xbox and Sony are going. Look, the world is different. A lot of things has changed. I mean, here we are almost in 2025, and I'm sure when you see this video, most likely whenever you see it, it'll be already 2025. In the future, I mean 2025, whenever you see it, whenever you find this video. So world has changed, the economy has changed, the console gaming has changed. You can't think about the consoles like you used to think about them back in early 2000, right? 2001, 2004, 2006, right? 2013, 2014, 2016, 17. Things have changed. So you have to look at video gaming and console in a different lens. Okay? And hopefully this video will open the eyes of PlayStation fanboys so they realize that, hey, listen, Xbox, it's not in competition with you no more. That train has left. That train has left long time ago. So all of this, beating your chest, PlayStation 5 this, PlayStation 5 Pro that, it's a waste of time. It's a waste of oxygen. So there's no more competition between Xbox and PlayStation. Okay? So let's watch this video and then I'll chime in, I'll talk about it and give you my opinions on it.
The Xbox Series X, Microsoft's most powerful flagship console. For a long time, you needed an Xbox to play games like Halo or Gears of War. Then, Microsoft decided you don't. So it launched a monthly subscription service that lets users play the latest games on a bunch of other devices. But it's increasingly competitive and will take a lot of investment to make it work. So will this shift pay off? And what does it mean for the future of the console? This is the economics of Xbox. Today, with more than 30 game studios, Xbox is an industry mainstay.
But it had to really earn that position in the market.
The console war began in the 1970s, when video game companies started competing to create a more powerful console and win more customers. By the 90s, the biggest players were Sony, Nintendo, and Sega. And in 1997, consumer spending on consoles surpassed arcades for the first time. A few years later, Microsoft entered the scene with its first-generation Xbox. To entice customers into their ecosystems, most of these companies tried to keep the prices on their consoles as low as possible, selling them at a loss. Xbox loses up to $200 per console, but the brands made up the difference by selling games and other accessories.
The more consoles you sell, the more software you're going to sell with it.
The PlayStation outsold the Xbox every single time. Microsoft only came close to beating Sony with the Xbox 360. Analysts say this was because the PlayStation 3, which ran customers up to $600, was priced too high. But the Xbox lost ground with the next generation, and ultimately, it lost the console war. In 2017, Xbox launched Game Pass, positioning itself as a services brand.
It's more interested in making content available to people on whatever device they choose to play on.
Game Pass is a tiered service. The least expensive plans offer gaming on either console or PC, and the most expensive plan has multi-device gaming and other features like streaming games from the cloud and access to certain games the day they're released. In essence, Microsoft is betting that it can get more customers if they don't have to buy a console. This model also gives the company a recurring revenue stream, so it doesn't have to rely as much on blockbuster successes.
So Game Pass solves the problem on the consumer side by making lots of content available for cheap, and on the business or the supply side in terms of offsetting the financial volatility associated with entertainment.
Microsoft's head of gaming, Phil Spencer, has said Game Pass is profitable.
And I think it will stay in that 10 to 15% of our overall revenue.
But Microsoft isn't the only one stepping into the subscription world. In 2022, Sony merged its subscription services, PlayStation Plus and PlayStation Now, and relaunched it to compete with Game Pass. There are two key things that give Microsoft an edge. First, it's a much larger company with lots and lots of money. And for the past decade, Microsoft has been using that money to acquire game studios, beefing up its library. In 2014, it bought Mojang, the maker of Minecraft, for $2.5 billion. In 2021, it bought ZeniMax Media, owner of Fallout and Doom, for $8.1 billion. And in 2023, it finalized the purchase of Activision Blizzard, the maker of Call of Duty and Candy Crush, for $75.4 billion.
To put it in perspective, that is a little bit less than what Sony makes annually.
Second, as a giant tech company, Microsoft owns lots and lots of data centers, over 300 worldwide, some of which help support Game Pass and cloud gaming.
The incumbents like Nintendo and Sony, they live and die on great content and this magnificent retail distribution infrastructure that they've built. So it's in Microsoft's interest to push into its data centers and its infrastructure in the cloud because it can't beat Sony and Nintendo at retail.
This puts it in an arena that mainly other massive tech companies like Amazon, Nvidia, and Google can really compete in. But there are lots of obstacles. To start, adoption has been slow. In 2020, it targeted 71% subscriber growth and reached 86%. But the following year, it fell short. And in 2022, it missed its target by a long shot.
Some people are just not comfortable with the idea of not actually owning a game. They may want to play a game, put it down for 6 months and pick it up later, or a year later or more. And it may not be in the subscription service anymore after that time.
So as of 2024, Game Pass has amassed 34 million subscribers. Some of the biggest challenges are specific to cloud gaming, a feature.
All right, so let's unpack this. So you see the trajectory. I like how they went from, the history of consoles and versus the arcades, and how the consoles really have also dominated the arcades. Like, basically, you see the rise of consoles where people want to have consoles in their homes versus going to the arcades because they have to always buy the quarters. So that was the fall of the arcades. The arcades were slowly dying because people buy consoles like Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, right? Atari 2600, and then later on, PlayStation, Nintendo, and Xbox, Dreamcast, etc., etc. And then they show you the growth of consoles and how consoles had their golden age, right? And Xbox, in my opinion, did pretty good. That was able to last for this many years. If you look at 2001 all the way till now, that's 2 decades. 2 decades they were able to hold their own ground for 24 years, and they are still holding their ground. But the way they're doing it is they're like being logical. They were buying out the studios because they have $3.4 trillion net worth. So for them to throw $75 billion, it's nothing. They'll make that revenue. Don't worry, over time, and they're already making that revenue. So what Microsoft essentially decided to do, as you saw here, they decided to start buying these studios, acquiring Activision, Blizzard, Xenix Games, Bethesda, etc., etc. And by acquiring these studios and these games, that gives them more variety for people to enjoy when they sign up for the Xbox Game Pass. But another thing that Microsoft decided to do was, hey, since we are not really gaining much of revenue from creating these consoles and we're losing $200 on each console that we make, why don't we just focus on our software and our service? Software, we're going to sell our software to anyone who wants it. We'll give it to PlayStation, we'll give it to whoever who wants it, and we'll make our revenue there too, which is a smart approach to sell their software. People say, oh, Indiana Jones is coming to PlayStation. That's a good thing for Microsoft. They will make revenue there. If they put Forza Horizon and Halo in there, that will give them the revenue. If they put Gears of War on a PlayStation, that will give them revenue. They will make their money on the software. And on top of the software, they're also going to make money from a 34 million subscribers that they already have on the Game Pass. That's a lot of subscribers, 34 million subscribers. So this strategy, it's, in my opinion, the smartest strategy that they have implemented in 2024 and going forward in 2025 and beyond. So what does this mean? This means that Xbox as an Xbox, you can't think of Xbox in traditional sense like you used to from 2006, like Xbox 360, the original Xbox 2001. They're not in a console war business. They're not in a console business, period. They do have consoles, but that's not their main focus. They're not really focused on that. Their main focus is software, selling the software, making revenue on that software by putting it on multi-platforms, right? Don't be surprised if you see some Xbox games on Nintendo, or the next future Nintendo Switch 2, more powerful. You're already starting to see Xbox games on PlayStation, right? That's where they're going to make that revenue as well. And on top of that software, they're also making money from the Game Pass service, where they are letting you play wherever you want to play. Whether you want to play it on a MetaQuest 3 or Amazon Fire TV or your phone, your tablet, what have you, whatever you choose to play it on, they're going to give you that option. And this is also going to bring them double the revenue on top of the digital sales, on top of the software sales that they're selling out there on the PlayStation and hopefully in the future Nintendo and PC. On top of that, they also have the Game Pass with 34 million and growing subscription. So when you combine all of this, they're going to make that billions of dollars in the long run. They will make it. Not right away, but they will make it. So this is a smart strategy that they're implementing. But my message to Sony fanboys, and look, I have Sony. I have 3 PlayStation 5 consoles. I have PlayStation VR 2. I have PlayStation Portal. Those of you who follow me, you know what I have. I, as a Sony fan, can tell you right away that there is no more competition. Right? So to all my Sony fanboys, I don't know what exactly are you talking about when you're making these videos, PlayStation versus Xbox. Hello. It's over. It's been over. And you can watch this video, or you can go to Wall Street Journal, or you can watch Oh No, It's Alex, or you can watch other people, and they'll tell you that the console war, it's over. And you should be happy about that. You should be happy with the fact that with one console, PlayStation 5, you'll be able to play all of these games, including your PlayStation games. That's a win-win situation for you. That's not something to be upset about. That's something to be satisfied about. But it's also satisfying to the Xbox fans because they don't have to pay for Indiana Jones. They don't have to pay for Microsoft Flight Simulator. They don't have to pay for Forza Horizon or Forza Motorsport because it's included on the Xbox Game Pass. So, they're also winning. So I think this is a win-win situation for both Sony and Microsoft. And I think this is a good step forward instead of having this pulverized, toxic, fanboyistic, pulverized, toxic point of view. And quite honestly, I'm so sick and tired of the whole, console war, Xbox better than PlayStation, PlayStation better than Xbox. They're just so tiring and it's so annoying, man. It is so annoying, really. And I'm so glad that the Microsoft made this smart decision. And you look at PlayStation. Well, PlayStation, it's also influenced by Microsoft. Why do you think they made a PlayStation Plus? Why do you think they made a PlayStation Portal? Because they're trying to expand their service as well. PlayStation is also interested in selling their software. Don't be surprised. I'll make a prediction. I'll make a prediction right now. Don't be surprised if you see some of the PlayStation titles come to the Xbox. Don't be surprised. Now, I'm not saying right now, but in the future, don't be surprised. If you see The Last of Us, if you see God of War on Xbox Game Pass in the future, don't be surprised. Don't be surprised. Do you know why? Because Sony wants to sell their software. They're already selling it on a PC. Why wouldn't they expand it to the Xbox? They want to make money. Listen, these companies... We're going to finish this video, but I want to say this before we continue with this video. Both Sony and Microsoft, they are in the business of making money. Which part of that do you guys have a trouble understanding? They are in the business of making money. Do you get it? They don't care about the fanboys. They're just using the fan base to sell. But they don't really care about the fanboys. They don't care about what you want. They only care about how they can make money. Ones and zeros. They are in business of making money. Here, I repeat again. So there is no, maybe there's an echo or something. Can you guys hear me? Good. Do you get it? There is no competition anymore. Sony doesn't care about what you want. They don't care about fanboys. They're in business of making money. I'll repeat it one more time in case somebody has a swabs in their ears and they can't hear me. I'll say it again. They are in business of making money. They don't care about you and what you want. They're in business of making money. 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 Same thing with Microsoft. They're in business of making money. Do you get it? How did you not get this before? Why did it take you so long till now to realize this? Why didn't you understand this before? I'm speaking to fanboys, whether you're PlayStation fanboy, Xbox fanboy, or even PC Master Race. Why? I don't even know why PC Master Race is competing with the consoles. The whole thing is stupid anyway. But that's a whole different subject. So, do you get it? And I don't know why you fanboys were fanboying to begin with. They don't care about you purchasing their console. They don't. They only care about the fact that you purchased it. What I mean by that is they don't care how much you love to purchase. As long as you purchase, they don't care that you purchased their console. As long as you purchased it. Okay? And I know you're probably going to go, well, that doesn't make any sense. It makes sense. That's like me telling to you, I don't care about your feelings about my product as long as you buy it. Do you understand what I mean by that? Okay, I sell you this tea. Okay, I want to sell you this tea. And I sell it to you. I don't care about your feelings about this tea. Whether you like it or don't like it. As long as you bought it. You know. But in general, they don't care that you purchased their console. As long as you purchase it. And gave them the money. What I mean by that, they don't care. They're not gonna like kiss your ass that you purchased their console. They're not gonna shine your shoes because you purchased their console. The Sony fanboys have this idea that if you purchase something from Sony, that Sony all of a sudden is gonna worship you and bow down to you that you purchased their product. They don't care. They only care that you gave them money. Get it? Anyway, but it's a business, guys. This whole thing, it's a business. They're in to make money. They don't care about your feelings. They don't care about how you feel about their console. They don't care about what you want, what you don't want. They could give less than 2/4 of a shit on how you feel. They're not in business for your feelings. Get it? They're not in business for your feelings. They're in business of making money. So their investors can be happy as well when they invest their stock, right? So that's basically what they're in for. Get it? So it's a business. It's not a, oh, we're so glad you purchased our console. They might say that as a PR, but deep down they don't really care that you purchased, as long as you gave them money. You know. Anyway, let's continue. You might think that Sony cares that you purchased that PS5 Pro. But they don't. As long as you purchased it, that's all that matters to them. They don't really care. You know.
Feature included in Game Pass's top tier. Traditionally, game data was stored locally on cartridges, discs, or downloaded straight to the console. With online multiplayer games, data like each player's actions were streamed. But with cloud gaming, the entire game is streamed to your device, which can be laggy.
If it's a competitive game, a millisecond can mean the difference between winning and losing.
Cloud gaming is also expensive to operate.
The economics have changed, but they haven't immediately changed to, only run a profit. Both of those offerings, whether those are product-based and conventional or whether they are streaming and more digital, both of those run at a loss in principle, but to recuperate and to earn money in those contexts is a very different proposition.
One report found that just 6% of gamers around the world were subscribed to a cloud gaming service in 2023. Still, experts believe it will grow substantially.
Cloud gaming is one of those few components where they could possibly thrive and lead, even if that's a much more modestly sized industry.
Microsoft isn't getting rid of the Xbox anytime soon. Later this year, it will release new versions of its current generation.
You see what the guy said about the cloud gaming. What have I been talking about the cloud gaming in the past few years? In the past 5 years, as a matter of fact, ever since 2019, Stadia has launched their cloud gaming service. What did I say? And what was the my following preaching that I have talked about? Listen. Cloud technology, it's something that's evolving, just like VR. It's evolving slowly but surely. Anybody who's using VR technology knows that. All right, anyone who's keeping track of these technology things like artificial intelligence, VR, cloud, understands that technology is evolving, it's growing, and it's only going to grow and evolve. You can't stop that snowball from getting bigger and bigger as it's coming down a hill. So same thing with a tsunami. You can't stop that tsunami. You can't stop that lava from coming down that volcano. All right? Or that avalanche that's coming down the snowy mountain. So same thing here with the cloud. Same thing here. Just because you have this idea of traditional thinking of console, because that's because you're narrow-minded. That's because you're very narrow-minded. You're not open-minded. You're not looking at how technology evolves, right? If you have any understandings on how technology evolves, then you would understand that we used to have LP records. And then after LP records, we had cassette players. And after cassettes, we had video cassettes, VHS cassettes. And after VHS cassettes, we had Laserdisc. And after Laserdiscs, we had CDs and then DVDs. And after DVDs, we upgraded to Bluray to store even more data. And after cartridges, we had CD compact discs. And then after that, we had, floppy disks, hard copy floppy disks. One of those hard ones, not the big flat ones. So technology evolves, right? And now the physical media is slowly, it's dying. It's being replaced by what? The cloud, the storage, the cloud storage, the internet, the servers, right? You look at Netflix, you look at Amazon Prime, you look at Paramount Plus, HBO Max, right? You look at all these Disney Plus, all these services, right? They all have replaced the physical media because it's all online. It's all on a server. So anyone who understands technology understands that technology will evolve. You can't think that the consoles will stay status quo forever. That's just very closed-minded, narrow-minded, and that shows me that some of you don't understand the economics of how technology evolution works. Technology always evolves. Like this VR that I'm holding right now. Let me show you some. Like this, you will laugh about this in about a few years. Do you know why? Because you will have something as good as this. You'll have something like this that will replace this, right? So this is currently what's being used. And in the future, you'll have something like this. You'll put these glasses on and there's your VR. There's your VR. So technology, it's always evolving. Everything, it's evolving. Same thing with the cloud. I still stand by my statement. I said by 2030, everything will be on the cloud. By 2030. Now, so what does this mean? So what are they saying basically? They're saying basically they still have consoles. They're not getting rid of the consoles just yet. They're still here. But what they're doing basically is they are slowly but surely trying to integrate their new strategy slowly but surely. Everything starts slow. Remember Netflix? How the Netflix changed the video stores, like a Blockbuster video store giant or a Hollywood store giant, right? And then next thing you know, everything's on the streaming. Everyone's streaming. Slowly but surely. Look at the phones. The very first iPhone from Apple changed everything. The touch screen. The very first iPad changed everything with tablets, right? That's the innovation. That's the evolution of innovation. It just evolves. So same thing goes for the cloud technology. And you're seeing the cloud technology right now. Now imagine how sophisticated it's going to be 10 years from now, 25 years from now. Guys, technology evolves. But if you want to live in that old way of thinking, you will be left behind. You will be left behind because they're going to say, oh my God, what happened? What about all of you guys with your Blu-ray players and physical media, right? That's it. It's gone. I mean, it's a good thing that you still have your Blu-ray player and your physical media so you can watch those movies. I still have mine. I'm glad that I have over 470 physical media movies that I have collected. Thank God. So those 470 movies that I have collected on the physical media, I can always watch it anytime, 100 years from now, 200 years from now, 1,000 years from now. I will always be able to watch those movies. So it's great. But what happened? Physical media, it's officially dead. Let's be honest. Even LG is dropping out of the Blu-ray players. Blu-ray players are dead. They're just done. It's over. It's over. Physical media, slowly but surely, it's over. It's dead. And what does this set you up? This is setting you up for the cloud. That's what this is about. It's a new phase of cloud. But it's going to happen not overnight. The Rome wasn't built overnight, okay? No empire is built overnight. But slowly but surely, by 2030, 2031, you will see everything on the cloud. This is what I've been preaching about. I've been preaching about the cloud gaming, and I've been preaching about the Xbox being a service. Remember when I made that video not too long ago where I said the Xbox, it's more focused on a service. instead of consoles. And they are not in competition with Sony. So, look, I know it's 30 minutes, but I just want to say this, guys, to all my Sony fanboys out there. And I know, God knows, I have a lot of Sony fanboys following my channel. How do I know? Because I look at the analytics. I see what you guys are watching. I know exactly who you're watching, what you're watching, how often do you watch Digital Foundry, how often do you watch this guy, that guy, this channel, that channel. It tells me everything I need to know about my Sony fanboys and what they're watching, what they're doing. Yes, YouTube gives me the analytics of you guys, everything that you do. I know exactly what you are watching, what you're not watching, what you like, what you don't like. I know exactly what you guys are doing as my subscribers. I don't know if this is a breaking news to you or not, but I do know. So I know this will be a tough pill for some of you Sony fans to swallow, but remember this. The facts are facts. Your opinions are just that, your opinions. They're not facts. This is a fact. And the fact is this. The console war is over. Nintendo is not in competition with anybody. Nintendo is just doing their own thing. PlayStation is not in competition with anybody because Xbox is not in competition with anyone, and they're definitely not in competition with PlayStation. So the console war, it's over. So whom is PlayStation in competition with? With itself. They're trying to figure out how to make money, how to move forward, because they just lost $400 million this year. It's not a good year for Sony. And they're not really selling that crazy with PlayStation 5. And even with the PlayStation VR 2, they're not really selling that crazy with PS5 Pro and the PlayStation VR. I think their biggest success is Portal this year. If I could say, like, what is the biggest success for PlayStation this year, I would say it was the PlayStation Portal. It's probably their best success, especially now since all you need is a PlayStation Plus to use PlayStation Portal as a standalone device. So you can play all of those PlayStation Plus games. Okay? But remember, PlayStation doesn't care whether you buy their console or not. They care about service. They're also moving towards service. They're in it for the service. Their focus is PlayStation Plus. Why do you think they're forcing you to have a PlayStation Plus to play some of those multiplayer games? Because they are also too focused on the service, and they too are also focused on how they can expand their franchise. They already started that on Steam, on PC. You can play those PlayStation games on the PC. So they're already expanding that franchise of their software on the PC. You don't think that Sony is not going to put that on the Xbox with 34 million subscribers of the Xbox Game Pass? They're going to profit a lot of money from The Last of Us and God of War and Uncharted. They will profit a lot of money by giving... Imagine if they put Gran Turismo in there. That will give a lot of revenue for Sony. Imagine Sony putting Gran Turismo on PC and Xbox. Think about the revenue. Now, how about this? The Last of Us, God of War, Uncharted, Days Gone, and Gran Turismo. 7. You don't think that revenue from Xbox that they're going to make, it's not good for Sony? That's great for Sony. That's billions of dollars. So it's all about the service and software. You guys are so focused on a console. You think, I'm not saying that Sony doesn't care. They want you to buy a console. Of course they do. Same thing with the Microsoft. They want you to buy this Xbox. But that's not their main focus. Same thing with the PlayStation VR 2. That's not their main focus. Yes, they want you to buy a PlayStation VR 2, but they're not trying to, focus too much on a campaign. Like, where's the ads for PlayStation 5 Pro? Where's the ads? You don't see any ads for PlayStation 5 Pro. Why is that? Because Sony is not so focused on selling you the PS5 Pro. They're focused on their service, PlayStation Plus, and their software. That's where we're at. We're at service, software, and cloud. Remember those 3 words. Service, software and cloud. That's where the money is at. The money, it's not with the consoles. Nobody really cares about your teraflops, right? Or your CUDA cores or working groups and this and that, RDNA 2X or RDNA 3 or whatever. No one really cares about that because people can't tell a difference anyway, unless you use a magnifying, zooming glass. What they're focused on? They're focused on the service, software, and cloud. Why do you think they're pushing that PlayStation Plus? Why do you think that the Xbox is pushing the Game Pass? Why do you think PlayStation is pushing the PlayStation Plus? Why do you think Nintendo Switch is pushing Nintendo Switch Online? Now you know, guys. That's where the money is at. It's the subscription service and software. Subscription service and software. So these days of beating your chest and I got my exclusives, I got the best, I have the best, those days are over. Those days are over. All right? Those days are over. People say, what about the PlayStation 6? Well, look, that's a separate video. I might have to make a separate video on that to give you my thoughts and opinions about that. That might be a separate video that I might make talking about the PlayStation 6 and where it's going. And believe me, I have some pretty good idea on that as well. But I'm going to save that for that video. Okay, this is just me letting you know, all you Sony fanboys, to let it go. Stop with your artificial intelligence photos, photoshoppings. It's over, man. It's over. That's it. It's over. Capiche? Get it? It's over, man. It's finito. Console war, it's over. We're stepping in a different direction, to a different future. 2025 and beyond, it's going to be different. Gaming, it's evolving. Society, it's evolving. The future, it's evolving. Everything, it's evolving. You can't have this mindset of thinking console status quo. That's over, man. Those days are over, dude. And that's what essentially Wall Street Journal here on this video is trying to tell you. Okay? You guys let me know what you think. Leave your comments below. But do me a favor. If you're going to leave a comment, as I always say, I don't mind you leaving a comment. You can have your opinions. Everyone is entitled to their opinions. I have nothing against people's opinions about what I say here. You can challenge my opinions. You can challenge others' opinions. I have no problem with people having their opinions. That is your God-given right. As long as it's done respectfully. That's all I ask when it comes to the comments. Have your opinions, but your opinions has to be done respectfully. That's it. Simple as that. You can debate this, you can debate others, you can debate me and challenge me and what I say on here, but it has to be done respectfully. Get it? Respectfully. All right. Having said that, thank you for watching and happy holidays. I'll see you in the next video soon. Take care.